Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Hi everyone and welcome to Cognitive Recalibration. As usual, I'm your host, Shravan. We've got Tarun here with us, who's just
back from the bathroom if you listened to our last episode.
Yes, so he's...
And if you haven't, then I just came back from the bathroom.
Yes, yeah. Or just go listen to the previous episode so you understand what's happening.
Nah, just before each episode, I spend half an hour in the bathroom just getting into the mindset, getting ready for podcasting, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just getting into that zone.
Getting into the zone, yeah. It's kind of like when you see a sports player with the headphones on before they play. That's what I do in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But I do other stuff in there as well.
Which we won't talk about.
Yeah.
Stranger Things 3.
Stranger Things. Do you realize they don't call it Stranger Things Season 3? Yeah. They call it Stranger Things 3. It's like a movie.
It's like a movie. So Stranger Things 3. It's here. Yep. Came out on the 4th of July. Which
is Independence?
Yeah.
Independence Day in America. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. In this season, basically the story is revolving around July, 4th of July as well. So
in the previous season, it came out on Halloween and it resolves around Halloween.
Yeah.
What was the first season? First season
Halloween.
Was it Halloween as well?
Yeah, it was both. They were both Halloween. Yeah. So we're back here for season 3. We've just both watched it. I watched it like a weekend, last weekend. Yeah. I watched it in a couple days. Yeah. Okay. I watched it over this week because I had the opportunity to watch it on my journey to work. So if anyone lives in Melbourne, they will know about the Cranbourne Pakenham lines shutting down for a week. And it took me 2 hours to get to work one way. So I could get through most of the season on my way to work.
My commute takes 4 to 5 minutes.
Yes, I envy you. So I've got a Who Am I? A Stranger Things Who Am I? There aren't many characters in Stranger Things, so...
This should be easy.
This is not a very difficult one, but if you still don't get it, then...
I've been struggling a little bit.
When was the last time you actually got a Who Am I?
The Marvel ones. I always get the Marvel ones.
You didn't get the Spider-Man one either.
Which one was the Spider-Man one?
The Spider-Man one was Mephisto.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't. Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. I'm in a bit of a slump. Yeah. This better be a slump buster.
Yeah, let's see. So... I lived in London before I was abducted at a young age. At the age of 5, I was taken to Hawkins National Laboratory. At the lab, I was experimented on alongside other children possessing abilities like myself. I spent a lot of time with another child in what was called the Rainbow Room. Once my abilities were strong enough, I used them to escape the lab, found a new family and home, but eventually lost them as they were unable to help me. I then began using my powers to get revenge on people from the lab. I formed a gang that pursues and kills the people from our past.
I know who it is, but I can't remember. I'll figure it out. I've got 10 options.
Okay.
It's one of the 10. I just have to figure out which one.
Listeners have a think as well.
You've pretty much got a 1 in 10 chance of getting it right.
Stranger Things was created by the Duffer Brothers. And they're also the executive producers along with Sean Levi.
Do you know what the new thing is? Being brothers and directing things.
Or big brothers and doing podcasts.
Yeah, okay. That's not a thing.
It will be. We're starting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it is a brothers. So there's the Russo brothers. There's these guys. Who else?
Wachowskis, the brothers.
Yeah. They're sisters now.
Sisters, yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are other...
There's probably other brothers out there.
It's become a thing to have
multiple directors.
Yeah, like 2 directors.
Yeah.
Because Captain Marvel had 2 as well.
Yeah. It's like, it used to be just 1 director, but there's a lot of movies now with a couple people directing it.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the story of season 3? So I need to watch the recap for this season because it's been a while since season 2. The recap was not very good, to be honest.
Which recap did you watch?
The one on Netflix, just before
Oh, okay. I watched the IGN recap on YouTube.
Okay. The one on Netflix wasn't very good because it was all out of order as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So give us a recap. What happens?
A recap. So, season 1, Will Byers goes missing And after he leaves his friend's house, Finn Wolfhard's characters, whose name is Mike, yes, they were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and he goes missing. Wilbur's mum puts in a police report to Hopper, who is
Jim
the
Hopper?
police chief. And then their story is trying to find out what's happened to Will. The kids who are Will's friends, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas. Yes. Lucas go out trying to find Will and end up finding 11 instead, who is this bald girl in the woods. They find out 11 has superpowers, and you get a bit of backstory that 11 escaped this lab. There's this evil dude that she calls Papa, who is basically experimenting on her to trying to exploit her superpowers, basically. Meanwhile, Mike's sister is going out with Steve Harrington, who is the golden boy of the high school.
Yes.
And Nancy. Yep, Nancy's going out with Steve, and there's this creepy dude who takes pictures of Nancy when she's not looking, and that is Will's brother, Jonathan. Yes.
Yeah.
So Jonathan buys it. He takes creepy pictures of people. There's a party. Yeah. Barbara gets abducted. Barb, yes, who is Nancy's friend, gets abducted, and she dies at the party. Well, she gets abducted. They don't know what's happened to her, and something finds her. Anyway, shit happens. Nancy and Jonathan kind of get together because she sees a picture of something that might have abducted Barb at the party. It all kind of culminates in the end. You find out there's this monster roaming around, kidnapping people. And 11 opened up this underground portal to this different dimension where the monster came out. Hopper and Joyce go into the Upside Down to get Will out. They get Will out. Barbara's dead. 11 kills the Demogorgon. Season 1.
Okay.
Season 2. At the end, when 11 kills the Demogorgon, she disappears as well. And you don't know what's happened to her. At the start of season 1, she's in this cabin with Hopper.
Season 2,
sorry. Yeah. At the start of season 2, she's in this cabin with Hopper, and they're just having a jolly good time. But 11's not having a jolly good time because she wants to see Mike, and Hopper doesn't want her to see Mike because he doesn't want her to get caught by the authorities. Mike is sad because he doesn't see 11. Will is still fucked up a little bit from being in the Upside Down. There is this thing called the Mind Flayer that is terrorizing the town a little bit. Steve is a good guy now, and he's understand that Nancy's down with Jonathan, and yeah, he kind of becomes the babysitter of the group. Mike finds out that 11 is still alive, and they're going to try and find 11, basically. Dustin finds this little thing in his his dustbin, and he calls it Dart. And it's something from the Upside Down, and they're going to find that, which escapes because it kills Dustin's cat, and then it escapes, and they're trying to find out where it went.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And they take Steve with them, and they end up in this junkyard where they're basically finding out where it went. There's a new member of the group, Max, whose brother is a dick. His name's Billy, and he's just a dick because his dad's a dick to him.
And he's also the Red Power Ranger.
Yes, he is. Yes. That's post this. So they're trying to find Dart. Mike is trying to find 11. They all find each other in the end. They find out that the portal to the Upside Down is still open, and 11 goes on this little adventure where she meets these other people with superpowers. Shit happens there, but then she meets the X-Men. She meets the X-Men. Yep. And then she comes back. She has a little trip away, and she realizes that she wants to be in Hawkins. She comes back and she's like, I can close the Upside Down portal. All these like demi-dogs that's what they call them. Demi-dogs are coming out of the portal, and the Mind Flayer is trying to come out. The Mind Flayer is actually in Will, and he's being creepy and doing creepy shit. So Joyce she heats up a room to try and get the Mind Flayer out of Will. And then while that's happening, 11's trying to close the portal. And also while that's happening, all the other guys are fighting the demi-dogs. And then they manage to close the portal, but not before Sam dies from Lord of the Rings. He gets eaten by a demidog. 11 closes the portal. Happily ever after.
Everyone's happy.
Lucas gets with Max. Mike gets with 11. Nancy's already with Jonathan. Dustin's left alone, although he has cool hair now, and he's best friends with Steve Harrington. Billy's still a dick. Yeah, everyone's happy at the end of season 2.
And then we come to season 3.
Season 3. I didn't explain season 2 as well as season 1. I was really on top of season 1.
Yeah.
So I apologize for that. Season 2, yeah.
Was a good refresher for me because I just went into season 3.
Yeah.
I've seen the previous 2, but I couldn't remember them.
Yeah.
Season 3. So we come back. It's 1985. It's summer, and they've built this new mall called Starcourt Mall, and that's sort of the center of the town. And as a result of the mall,
all the small businesses
are going out.
The backbone of the economy, as they say.
Local economy is gone.
Just the economy in general. It's the
yeah.
backbone. Yeah.
Small businesses. Yeah, they start to go out of business because everyone wants to go to the mall now because the mall has all this cool stuff.
It's all at the same spot, and
yeah, it's just more convenient.
Joyce's pharmacy is going out of business.
She's still working there though, for some reason.
Yeah, she's still there. Hopper's into Joyce. Is he?
Sort of.
He's into Joyce.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's pissed off because Mike and 11 keep making out with each other.
Yeah.
And he's not happy about that.
He's not happy, yeah. And what else? Lucas
and Max are, they're good. They're like together and they're having
good.
fun.
Dustin went on some summer camp.
He went on to summer camp and met a girl there. Will just wants to play Dungeons and Dragons, but
no one wants to.
No one wants to play it. Mike's a bit of a dick to his friends. He just always wants to hang around with 11. He doesn't care about the rest of them. And Will feels a bit left out, if anything.
Yes.
Feels like the fourth wheel. Shenanigans. And Steve's at Scoops Ahoy, which is an ice cream place.
Yes, there's an ice cream place. And meanwhile, there's a Russian subplot where these Russians are trying to open...
Are we doing spoilers?
No, we're not.
Okay.
This is non-spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
We will do spoilers after this, but there is a Russian subplot. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, just leave it at that. But yeah, that's where it starts. I think that sets the scene.
Yeah, that sets the scene. So
and it's summer. Yes.
And it's summer. Yeah, so it's not the usual Halloween in Hawkins. So what do you think of this season?
I loved it.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was better than season 2. Not as good as season 1.
I think it's better than season 2. Not as good as season 1 as well. But I am a strong advocate for this show, and I love it. And I think all the seasons are great.
Yeah, I think all the seasons are very good.
Yeah, and this is my favorite show out of all the shows. So, out of all the shows,
like
every show, this is the best show.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a bit cool.
What's better?
Arthur?
No, nothing. Nothing's better.
For me, Arthur's better.
Yeah, no. So this is the show, the best show. Do you know what shows are worse than this?
What show's worse than this?
Yeah.
Just any show.
All the shows are worse than this. Yeah.
Arthur is that cartoon aardvark show. If you
yeah.
didn't know what I was talking about.
Everyone knows who Arthur is. Yes. Arthur's a good show.
Yeah.
Arthur's just one step below this.
For me, it's just above this. But anyway.
But like in all seriousness, I do really like the show, except for maybe one episode in season 2, which I didn't enjoy all that much. But the rest of it, I really do enjoy.
Yeah, I think this is another solid season. I think the main reason why it's so good is the character.
Like the story, I wouldn't say the story's amazing by any standard.
Yeah, like this season, probably the story was sort of the weaker link, I thought.
And I don't think with any of the seasons the story's been that amazing, but what makes you enjoy it is the characters.
Yeah.
And I think it's got some of the best characters of any show.
And casting wise as well, they've done a good job. I thought the setting was really good. So the
setting's always been great.
They always do a good job with the 80s setting, but the mall actually looks really cool.
Yeah.
And it looks like what a mall would have looked like in the 80s.
Yeah. I think the setting always has been great. The costume's great and all that kind of stuff they nail.
It's definitely the best show on Netflix, I think.
It's the best show.
Yeah. I won't discuss that with you, but I think it's probably the best show on Netflix.
It definitely is the best show on Netflix. This is the show that made shows on Netflix a thing. Because before this, shows on Netflix weren't a thing. They were a thing, but they weren't good. Yeah. They were okay, but no one talked about it.
Yeah. Did we have any negatives in particular?
Look, I can see people not liking it because they're expecting something else. Stranger Things did start off as a semi-horror show that was kind of scary.
Yeah, I think the horror elements are definitely out.
Yeah,
in this season.
Well, it still has a little bit, but it's not like season 1 in terms of being a bit more horror heavy. So if you've come in expecting it to be a horror show, it's not a horror show anymore. It's a bit more of like a character study, if anything, and a bit more comedic.
Yeah, I think there's more comedy in this season than previous seasons, and that might be a bit jarring for people.
Well, it depends what you've come in expecting. If you're expecting like a horror heavy show, then you're not going to get that.
No, it's definitely become more of like I don't know what to call it.
This is almost like an espionage comedy.
Comedy with supernatural themes.
Yeah.
I think the biggest positive is the cast and the characters. They all do a good job. There's some new members that join in this season, and I thought they were really good as well.
What's amazing is each season they've added new characters. Every time they add them, I'm like, oh, is this character just going to ruin it? But each time those characters are the standouts, and they're great. Yeah.
I thought Billy was good in this season.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good in last season as well.
He was good. He was okay, but he wasn't in it that much last season.
But he's really good in this season.
In this season, he was one of the main characters.
And Robin was
very good.
I think Robin was one of the standouts. Do you know she's Ethan Hawke's daughter?
Yeah, Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. Yeah, she was very good. Were there any other new characters?
Erica is a character from season 2, but she's very good in this. She's got an expanded role in this.
Who's Erica?
Lucas's sister.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She was very good in this as well. And there's a whole bunch of Russian dudes who were okay.
There's one particular dude that's pretty good. Yeah. He's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about. And there was this guy who was pretty much Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator.
There's this one part when someone asks him, who is he? And then the guy's like, oh, he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And at the time, I didn't think about it because you haven't seen much of him. But then you look at him later and he actually is Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator.
Yeah, and like the camera angles and what he's wearing and like the gun he uses and stuff, they all look like...
It's a clear... Well, they basically say it in the show, so
basic like throwback to Terminator.
It's got the journalist from season 2 as well, who does quite well.
Yeah, he's pretty funny, yeah.
Hopper is a standout in this season. I think he's very good.
He's always very good.
He's very funny in this season as well. Classic, a lot of dad jokes that can be made about him. Steve, Dustin, Erica, and Robin do very well. So
basically they do a bit of a...
They're split into like 3 groups, basically.
It's a bit of an Avengers Infinity War situation.
There's a lot of characters now, so they split them into different groups, and then they kind of meet up eventually.
They all meet up at the end, but...
I think the groupings were great, and they all have interesting characters. Well, all of the characters are interesting, but they all have interesting relationships in the groups.
Yes, that's right. And there wasn't any group that I found less interesting than the rest. Yeah. So I wasn't like, just go back to the
I wish you could go back to that group or anything like that. You find them all interesting.
I didn't have any particular negatives, to be honest. I
know a lot of people don't like this season, though.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because of where the show's gone and where it used to be. They don't like where it's gone.
I think the reason I probably enjoyed it more than others is I really didn't remember much of... I remember them being good and sort of I remember the characters and I sort of remembered what happens, but I don't remember any of the details that much. So I just went into season 3 and I watched it and I really enjoyed it because it was just revisiting the characters, revisiting Hawkins.
It's a really well-made show. Like, it's not like it's a dodgy in terms of how they made it or anything like that.
No.
It's not like a cash grab or anything, but it's genuinely good.
The next season might be, though, but let's see. Like, so far they've done a really good job. On
so far you
seasons.
can't fault them.
Okay, so we can do our Infinity Stone rating and we'll jump into spoilers after that. So, does it have the soul?
Yes.
It certainly does.
The end of this show got me a little bit.
The Time Stone, there's only 8 episodes for this season, and I think that was the right number.
Paced well, yeah.
Any more than that, it might have been a bit dragged, but I think they did a really good job with the...
Unfortunately, no flashbacks, though, so...
I'm thinking there might have been, though.
No, it's not clear if that's a flashback or not.
Yeah.
Like you talking about the start of the show.
I'm just talking general. I thought there might have been somewhere in the middle somewhere. But anyway.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's pretty well paced.
Yeah, it's well paced. They did drag it out too long.
Yeah.
There's not one episode that's shit. I think all of them are quite good.
At the same time, I don't think there's like a standout episode. I think they're all just equally good.
The last one's pretty good.
The last one's good.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it was like absolutely amazing and like stood out from all the rest. I think they were all quite good.
They're all, they're all very good episodes.
Power Stone? Yes.
Yes. With 11, you're always going to get the Power Stone.
Mind?
It makes you think a little bit, I think.
There's a bit of mystery. You're kind of trying to figure out, along with the characters, what's happening.
And you kind of, I think by like the 8th episode is when it becomes a bit more clear. But before that, there is a lot of mystery associated with it.
Reality?
I think it's grounded in reality. Everything looks 80s, and
That's true. Yeah.
It's a supernatural story, and there's still teenage love drama and stuff like that. That's all real.
There's
and,
teenage love drama. There's a bit of adult love
drama.
drama. So there's a bit of everything. So yeah, I think it gets that. Space, they haven't gone space yet.
No, maybe they will.
Maybe next season, but no. So that gets 5 out of 6.
Yeah.
And obviously a cognitive recalibration from me.
Yeah, same from me. But lots of people hate this, which I don't understand. They don't hate this, but lots of people don't rate it very highly. I don't know. I'm a massive fan of this show. I was like a fan even before it came out. I thought it looked great from the trailers and everything before season 1 came out. So I guess I'm a bit biased.
I'm probably not as big a fan as you, but I enjoyed it. I don't see why people wouldn't enjoy it. I think it's an enjoyable season. It's enjoyable TV. Maybe if you're expecting a lot of stuff from this, you might not enjoy it as much, but if you just take it for face value, I think it's a good...
As TV shows go, it's pretty good. Yeah.
It's good, well made, production values are really high, characters are likable. It's got everything.
It's not the same as season 1 though, if that's what you're expecting.
Yeah, but, I think season 1's still the best season.
Yeah, I think so as well.
But
I like where it's going.
We'll talk about it more in spoilers, where it might go. So we will jump into spoilers now. So if you haven't seen Stranger Things 3, do come back to this point in the episode after you've watched it and listen to our spoilers. But if you have watched it or don't care about spoilers, just keep on listening. So what did you want to talk about first? The Russian subplot?
Okay, we can talk about the Russian subplot, which I thought was, at the start, I'm like, this is a bit weird, and I didn't really follow it. But as it went on, I'm like, nah, this is cool. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, so basically the Russians are trying to open...
The Upside Down.
But why?
Season 4. Well, it's not clear as to why yet, but it's not like they just skimmed over that. It's not like it's just missed out. It's hinted at that we're going to find out in the future why.
Yes. Yeah. And it just so happens that
Dustin intercepts a message, doesn't he?
Yes, so Dustin intercepts a message, and the message actually came from below Starcourt Mall.
Yes, yeah.
That's where the gate is, and that's where the Russians have set up their base to do this. Yeah, to do this. So Dustin, he has this, I think he calls it
Cerebro.
Cerebro, yeah.
From X-Men, if you get that reference.
There are a couple of comic book references in this.
They're nerds, so...
They also read a Wonder Woman comic, I think.
Max and 11 read one.
The Russians are doing stuff. They have this hitman dude who is the Terminator.
Yeah.
And the mayor's sort of in on this. Like, I don't think he knows exactly what's happening.
He doesn't know what's happening, but he's basically on their payroll.
Hopper is trying to get to the bottom of it after he figures out.
Joyce first kind of gets Hopper onto this. She's like, my magnets aren't working.
Yeah.
So, and then Hopper's like, you're fucking crazy. Just let this go. But she's like, no, my magnets aren't working. It must be the Hawkins thing. And then Hopper gets severely beaten by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then they're like, okay, something's up. We should get to the bottom of this.
So that's their story. And they end up catching up with
Reporter dude
and one of the Russian...
Who is hilarious.
Alexei.
The internet's loving Alexei at the moment.
Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy.
He's funny, yeah. And he's so happy. Him, when he gets the stuffed toy at the end, I just wish I could be that happy at some point. Like that.
He's a big fan of Looney Tunes.
He is. He loves that show.
Loves Looney Tunes.
So they're like one group, basically.
Yeah, they're the one group. And then you've got Dustin, who intercepts the signal.
Yep.
And he goes back and tells Steve about it. And Steve
works with Robin.
And Robin has very strong linguistic
abilities.
Yes. So she can decode the Russian message and figure out what's going on.
And then they enlist Erica's help.
Erica being Lucas's younger sister.
After they decode the message to find out what these Russians are shipping, basically.
So they get to the bottom of the whole Russian
subplot.
I guess Joyce's group and Dustin's group.
Them together kind of figure out what's happening.
Meanwhile,
Billy's been in a car crash. Yeah. Billy's been in a car crash. And then he goes into this place and he sticks his hand in something and then something sticks itself inside of him. Yeah. That was an Endgame reference.
From which part?
when Thor's like,
Oh, yeah, that's
when
right.
Jade stuck her hand inside
The
this
rock.
rock, and then the Infinity Stone stuck itself inside her.
Yes, so that basically happens to Billy. So that virus starts spreading
So
around.
the mind flayer comes back to life, basically, because the Russians open just a little bit of the upside down.
And
just,
they figure out that the mind flayer was actually always in their world. It just wasn't connected to the brain.
So once they open it up a little bit,
It's
then
back alive.
It's
yeah.
back alive.
It's back.
And then it sticks itself inside Billy.
Yeah. Well,
And
it
then
kind of becomes like takes over Billy's body.
takes over Billy's body. And then Billy starts recruiting the Dark Avengers, which involves tying them up and taking them to this basement and then letting the Mind Flayer stick itself inside them. Yeah.
So he does that with Heather, I think, who
Heather, yeah.
he works with.
Does it with this old lady who Nancy
Miss Driscoll.
Driscoll.
Yeah, Driscoll. Yeah.
Yeah, Driscoll. Nancy is meanwhile trying to make her way as a reporter, and she works with all these misogynist dicks
Yes. Yeah. So her and Jonathan are doing an internship, a summer internship, and
at the Hawkins post.
yes.
Yeah.
And it's not a very good place to
No,
work.
it's not a
sounds
very
like.
good workplace.
Yeah.
But Nancy's trying to she's trying to do a big story. She's trying to find a story. And she finds this thing about these rats basically eating a lot of chemicals.
Pesticides.
She goes to this old lady's house, and that old lady ends up getting infected by the Mind Flayer. And she kind of figures out that something's happening and then calls back to season 2, and she's like, this must be the Mind Flayer, basically.
Yes. So she figures it out with. I
With,
think Jonathan's
Jonathan.
a bit skeptical about it.
Yeah.
Because he just wants.
Because he gets fired because
just
of
wants money.
Nancy.
Yeah.
He gets fired because of Nancy, so they kind of break up.
Sort of. Not really. They're
Yeah.
just taking a break.
But then they come back together.
And so they're sort of investigating these weird occurrences in Hawkins with the rats and what's going on there. And then you got Mike and Elle, Max, and Lucas.
Yes.
So they're sort of a group.
And Will, obviously.
And Will, yes,
Yes.
and Will as well.
So they start off just having a bit of a quarrel because Mike doesn't give them enough attention. Will just wants to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they're just not letting him. Mike and Eleven kind of break up because Mike lies to her because Hopper threatens him. And they basically all split up, and the guys are together and the girls are having fun and they're doing their thing.
The question is, where did they get money from?
Who?
You know how Elle and Max go to the mall? And
Maybe they have an allowance.
who gives them money? I guess Hopper probably.
Hopper, yeah.
But she never goes out of the house.
But she must get money for, like, I don't know, going out with Mike and doing things. I don't know.
Because he always comes to her house, right?
Yeah, he does.
I don't
Yeah.
think she
But no,
goes-
she goes out.
Yeah.
Remember that part when they go up the hill to...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But she
she's
doesn't
got
go
a curfew.
She's not allowed to go to the mall, though.
No, she's not allowed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she must have had
Yeah.
some money. Yeah.
And does Max just live by herself?
No, she lives with Billy and her dad.
Is her dad in this season?
He's not. He's in the previous season when he beats up Billy, but he's not in this season. He is in flashbacks. Oh, it does have the time stone. There is flashbacks. Yeah, okay. Redo that. We have the time stone now.
So those are the groups, I think. Have we covered it?
Yeah, so their group, Will gets this tingle behind his neck, and he's like,
So he's trying to
the
figure out
Mind
stuff.
Flayer's here. He gets it a couple times. He's like,
The Mind Flayer.
boss is back.
The boss is back.
Yeah.
Rajnikant's back.
Yeah.
And then they start to figure out stuff as well. I think Elle figures out something's
Well,
something's up with Billy.
yeah, they play this game where they go find out what people are doing, and she does it with Billy, and then she's like, this is not exactly right. I think something's up with him.
So they kind of figure out that something's not right with Billy, and then they convene with Mike and crew, and they come together to figure out stuff with Billy.
Those are the three groups now.
So you have like these storylines happening, and then, I mean, I liked all the storylines, but I always liked Dustin and Steve.
That's the best storyline. Yeah, Dustin, they're all good, but the best storylines, Dustin, Steve, Robin, and Erica.
Yeah. Because they're kind of on their own as well, so they're like very isolated from the rest of them.
They have the best chemistry, those four.
So they had a pretty good storyline, and then I think the second best was
Probably the kids. Yeah.
probably the kids. Yeah,
Although Hopper's great.
Hopper's great as well.
And Alexi's great as well.
Yeah.
But I think the kids, it's always good to see what 11 does. So
So does it go from there? So there's mystery unravels from there.
And it's all based at Starcourt Mall, so they all end up there. They all kind of converge there. Not before our man Alexei gets killed by the Terminator.
He gets terminated.
Just after he won that toy, the Looney Tunes toy.
Yeah.
And
I guess he achieved what he wanted in life.
He achieved, yeah.
And then
he was
died.
so happy. It was like ecstasy, and then that was heartbreaking. He was great. I was genuinely sad when he died. Which was worse, Bob's death in season 2 or Alexei in season 3?
Alexei in season 3.
Alexei in season 3 got me. Yeah, that was horrible.
Bob,
yeah.
That didn't really hit me that much because for some reason I thought he would die.
Yeah. But you didn't want Alexei to die. He was such a happy-go-lucky chap, wasn't he?
He likes his Slurpees. And
he
likes his Hungry Jacks.
All he cares about is the little things in life. He did deserve to die. Justice for Alexei. I hope he comes back in some way.
So that's in the second last episode?
Yeah.
And then we hit the last episode where everyone
converges at Starcourt Mall. There's this great scene in the hospital with Nancy and Jonathan.
Yeah.
That's probably the most horror scene in the movie.
That's right, yeah.
In the season, sorry.
In the TV show, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Did you enjoy that one? Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. It was with the guys.
The two misogynist dicks.
Yeah. And the head of the newspaper, he's the father of Heather. That's right.
So they're trying to basically get the mind flayer inside Jonathan and Nancy, and the kids are waiting in the lobby, and 11's there, and she's going to come at some point and try and save them, or you're not sure when she'll come. At one point you're like, is she going to come? Yeah,
she doesn't.
She does.
Does she?
Well, they defeat them.
They managed to defeat them.
They
on
defeat
their
them
own.
one on one. They defeat them. But then they kind of form into this big blob.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's about to kill Nancy, and then 11 comes in and throws it out the window.
Yeah.
So basically, the mind flayer is getting all these human state chemicals and forming this big blob of a monster to kill 11.
Yeah,
to kill 11 or to nullify her, basically. At one point, she gets this thing stuck inside her.
Yeah.
From that point onwards, she can't use her powers anymore. So
and that's how the season ends as well.
Yeah, she still doesn't have her powers back.
I just wanted to mention the Russian bunker or whatever it is. So Steve, Dustin, Robin, and Erica are all in that, and so Steve and Robin get captured.
Yeah, so they first they see that the Upside Down is being opened, and Steve and Dustin's realize that's what's happening, and then Steve and Robin kind of sacrifice themselves so Dustin and Erica can get away and get some help. And then Steve gets brutally tortured.
Yeah. And they both get some drugs in them.
Yeah, they get drugs, and then they get super happy and have some D&Ms, and Steve says he likes Robin, and you think they're going to get together, and you think it's going to be Steve's finally going to find the girl, but then you find out that Robin is gay, and Steve's very happy for her. They're happy. Good friends.
They're friends. Yeah. And they watch Back to the Future for a bit as well.
Yeah, and they love it. It seems like a good movie to watch when you're on drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they get out and they have the big finale at Starcourt Mall, and Billy dies.
They love the Duffer Brothers love a good redemption from a character that's a shit bloke, don't they?
When have they done it?
Steve.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah. He was a shit bloke. Yeah. Well, he's gone from a shit bloke to
the best character in the show.
to the most likable character in the show. Yeah, but Billy dies, so he sacrifices himself.
But not before he redeems himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's this whole scene with sort of backstory for Billy and how he's grown up, and
you feel for him. It doesn't excuse the way he is, but you understand why he's that way. And then he does redeem himself in the end by saving 11 and sacrificing himself.
And they managed to defeat
the Mind Flayer.
Yeah.
Not before
Hopper has to also sacrifice himself.
Yeah. Which is probably the saddest death in this season, especially because of the voiceover that he gives afterwards.
That's right. Yeah. It hits you more in the voiceover than when he actually dies.
Although we did see a body, which we'll come back to.
I'm pretty sure he's dead, though.
We did see a body. Did you see a body? I didn't see a body.
Yeah, but you didn't see a body for anyone because it just obliterates their...
No, but you see them obliterate. Did you see Hopper obliterate?
But where would he have gone?
I have a theory.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character?
I don't have a favorite character.
I have a least favorite character, and that's Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan's probably the least interesting or least, he has the least to do.
I think my most favorite is probably Hopper, followed by probably Steve.
I think Steve and Dustin, if you have them as a combination, they're the best character.
Yeah.
Like them in combination. Yeah. Or if you have Steve, Robin, Dustin and Erica as a combination, that is like
the best.
The top tier. Yeah. I do really love Hopper in the season. He's hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, I think Steve or Dustin would probably be my favorite character.
Yes. Yeah. We haven't mentioned the song that happens.
That is so, I warned you about this before you watched the episode. How funny is that?
Like the world's about to end and these guys are just singing a song.
The never-ending story. Yeah. And it goes on for a longer time than I thought it would.
What's the number that they wanted to get?
The Planck's
constant.
Planck's constant. Yeah.
You could just look in a textbook.
Yeah, but they didn't have one on hand. Yeah. No phones back in those days.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Joyce hints at that she wants to leave the town before. And then there comes to a point where she's like, maybe I'll stay because she likes Hopper, and they kind of say they'll go on a date. This is just before Hopper dies.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like she might stay and they'll stay together, but then Hopper dies. So 11's very sad as well. And she goes with the Byers family and they leave to a different city.
And Mike and Lucas and Dustin are still in Hawkins. And Steve and Robin get a job at Blockbuster.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. And the guy, is he in other movies? Because he's
in season 1 as well. Yeah, he's in the show beforehand.
The guy who works at Blockbuster. So they end up getting a job. Well, Steve barely gets it, but Robin kind of convinces it. Yeah. Robin looks like she'd be comfortable doing a podcast on movies, but I don't think Steve would.
No, Steve's when he bets 3 movies and he can't name them. That's hilarious. Still my favorite character. Yeah.
And he also says the best Star Wars movies, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. At least he didn't say it was Phantom Menace. But that would have been odd since it's not even out yet.
Yes, yeah. And it ends, but there is a post-credit scene. It's actually in Russia now. Yeah, so they're still trying to open the... I think this...
Well, it's not really open the portal, but they're feeding a Demogorgon. They're feeding humans to a Demogorgon.
So they leave it open. So we'll start with your theories on where Hopper's gone.
I think Hopper... I hope Hopper... It's more a hope that Hopper's still alive because I really like that character. But, like, he couldn't go this way towards where Joyce was because the thing was spinning around. But he could go the other way into the Upside Down and just jump into there before Joyce pulled the thing. So he could be in the Upside Down. Is my theory. That could be possible.
Possibility.
I know it's a big jump into that little hole.
Wouldn't he get, like, because the beam was going into the hole, right? Wouldn't he have, like, run into the beam?
What if he, like, sidestepped it? Like,
didn't look like there was space or time to do that sort of thing.
No, he had space. He had space. He could do it.
Especially for him.
He could do it. He could do it. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him coming back, but...
Or the other theory is that he's the American they allude to in Russia, but I don't think that's him. I think that is someone else. Most probably the character that they've hinted is still alive. Papa. It could be Papa, I think.
I was going to say Billy, since he's definitely dead now.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a good MCU Wolverine?
In my opinion, they should do the Wolverine for a while. So I think by the time
he'll be older then.
Yeah, maybe.
He'd be like young. He'd be a young Wolverine.
He might be too tall to be Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman was tall.
Yeah, but Wolverine is historically short.
Yeah, he's meant to be short and not good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he'd be good though.
Yeah, it could be decent. He was very good in this season. I liked what he did.
And he can be angry.
Yeah. No, he did angry very well in this season. He was angry for 99% of the time.
Yeah, so he could definitely do a Wolverine. Anything else? So season 4 could be anything.
So I've done a lot of reading about where season 4 could go to, and apparently it's going to open up a bit more. So it's going to not just be in Hawkins. Hawkins
and not just be about 11. Possibly the other numbers.
Yeah, possibly opening up a bit more to the wider world. So, yeah.
That'll be interesting. Because they've kind of closed the door on Hawkins a little bit as well.
The Duffer Brothers are saying season 4 is the last one they want to do. So it could be a conclusion at the end of season 4. The producers say they might do more. The Duffer Brothers don't want to. And I'm very if the Duffer Brothers leave this, I'm very hesitant to think where it would go following that. So I hope if the Duffer Brothers leave it, I hope they leave it there. I hope that's it. I want it to be a consistently good show that ends at the right point.
Yeah.
And not
taking it too far.
Taking it too far and then ruin the whole thing. Yeah.
We've seen
other shows do that. Yeah.
We've seen other shows that have done that. So hopefully they keep it. Like, I'm happy if they don't even make another one. I'm happy with these three, but obviously they've left it open for.
Yeah. Do you know how they've gone? The first season ended on a bit of a downer and it was very sad. Second season ended very happy and everyone was happy. This season's gone back to ending pretty sad.
On a bit of a downer, yeah.
It's a very much a downer. I'm hoping in the final season it ends quite happily. Yeah. Because I was very, like, at the end of season 2, you're very happy with how everyone finishes up. But in this one, I found this more emotional than Toy Story 4, so.
Yeah, probably. Okay. That is Stranger Things 3. So we really enjoyed it. I know some people haven't, but you can tell us why you didn't. But before we finish up on this episode, you watched a movie last night.
Oh, so do you want me to talk about it?
I thought you might as well talk about it.
There's not much to talk about, to be honest.
It's the movie Stuber.
Yeah.
Starring
Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista.
Yes. So how was it? Best movie of the year?
Look, it is what it is. It is a movie about an Uber driver that gets kidnapped by a police officer to take down a drug lord.
That could be good.
That is basically what it is. Look, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen most of the best jokes from the movie, and it's going to hit every plot point that you think it's going to hit along the way. And there's some surprises. It's stock standard. It's not nothing you should go out there and watch.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you want a funny movie, I thought it was very funny at the start. And then as it got towards the end, I'm like, they're really running out of stuff to do here.
So less funny.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
At times.
Okay.
At times, yeah. But if you see the trailer, you've seen like 90% of the jokes that are the funniest.
So Infinity Stone rating? Soul?
No.
Okay. Time?
No.
Power? It's got Dave Bautista.
It's got Dave Bautista. I'll give it that.
Okay.
Yeah. He takes down a couple blokes.
Yeah.
While he's blind. He's blind in this movie.
Yeah. I saw it in the trailer.
Yeah.
Mind?
No.
Reality?
Like, there's lots of... I don't know if Uber's different in America, but there was lots of Uber mechanics that felt different to me than it is in Australia. Like, they have a profile picture for your Uber. Do you have a profile picture for your Uber?
Yeah, like who the Uber is, like who the driver is.
No, as a passenger.
No, no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
unless you can put a profile picture.
I don't know. Can you do that? Maybe it's an option that I just haven't revisited yet.
Yeah, maybe you can because like the driver can see who you are to pick you up. So maybe you can. Yeah. I don't use Uber that much. So yeah.
Anyway, it's kind of grounded in reality. It's got. There's this part at the start where Kumail Nanjiani's driving all these people around in his Uber, and that was pretty funny because it's classic Uber, like how it would go, like the different scenarios.
I think some of that's in the trailer as well.
Yeah, yep.
And space. Don't think this is Drax.
No.
The Drax version of Dave Bautista. So no space.
No space, unfortunately.
So that's what, 2 out of 6?
Yeah.
2 out of 6. And is it a cognitive regression?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, it's not that bad though. I would say it's the worst movie ever. It's pretty okay. I wouldn't watch it again.
So it's a cognitive regression, probably. Okay. Yeah, that's our quick review of Stuber.
That no one asked for.
Okay. So if people want to get in touch with us, so give a recommendation of what we should review next.
Should we do the Who Am I first though?
Yes. We will do the Who Am I first. So, I think you know who it is.
I do, but I can't remember the number.
Okay. I lived in London before I was abducted at a young age. At the age of 5, I was taken to Hawkins National Laboratory. At the lab, I was experimented alongside other children possessing abilities like myself. I spent a lot of time with another child in what was called the Rainbow Room. Once my abilities were strong enough, I used them to escape the lab. I found a new family and a home, but eventually lost them as they were unable to help me. I then began using my powers to get revenge on people from the lab. I formed a gang that pursues and kills the people from our past. Who am I?
Okay, I've got 2 guesses. Is it 5?
No.
Is it 9?
No.
Damn it. Okay.
Well, her actual name is Kylie Prasad.
Yeah.
And she's number 8.
Damn it. I was so close.
But yeah, she's basically in that episode in season 2 where it becomes an X-Men episode for her.
Which is my least favorite episode of the whole show.
I think she'll be back in season 4 though.
Maybe.
They wouldn't just introduce her, right?
I think it was meant to be like a backdoor pilot for another show. She could be back.
She could be back.
Yeah.
What powers did she have again?
She could alter reality, was it? She could make people see things that...
Yeah, I think so. That's right. Yeah. So now, if you want to get in touch with us and ask us a question, how do you go about it?
So you can email us at cognitiverecalibrationpodcast@gmail.com. Give us a tweet at crecalibration or on Facebook at cognitive recalibration. Same as Instagram.
We're on all podcasting platforms now. Please give us a like on Facebook because you'll get updates on all our new episodes and what we're up to. And thanks for listening. It's good to have people listening to our podcast. So let other people know if they'd be interested in this sort of thing as well. What are we doing next? San Diego Comic-Con, I think.
San Diego, Lion King.
Lion King? Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll probably do Lion King before that.
We could do Lion King and San Diego together.
Yeah. We could do that.
This episode is brought to you by Kate Spade New York.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Jess, and we're the hosts of the beauty podcast Fat Mascara.
And we're ready for that summer state of mind. If you're feeling the same, Kate Spade New York is right there with you.
The brand celebrates its 30th anniversary this year, and they're bringing on the summer adventures with a new collection inspired by a day at the beach.
We're loving their Spade Flower Jacquard collection, a classic Kate Spade New York print in new hues. And there's also a lemon novelty collection that adds a little zest to every summer look with timeless bags, breezy dresses, and so much more.
Wherever the season takes you, whether that's Cannes or Coney Island, get ready to look the part. Discover and shop the summer collection at Kate Spade New York.
Okay, so stay tuned for that episode, but till then, see you later.
Laters.